Audio Jungle.
Hi everyone, in this video mainly we discuss about the Bsc Hons Agriculture ICR accreditation. ICR stands for the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Full course details of Bsc Hons Agriculture. Mainly Bsc Hons Agriculture is a 4 years course. It can be divided into 4 years. First year semester 1 and semester 2, and in the second year semester 3 and semester 4, and in the third year semester 5 and semester 6, and in the fourth year semester 7 and semester 8. In the semester 7 mainly the RAWE. RAWE stands for the Rural Agriculture Work Experience, and in the semester 8 ELP. ELP stands for the Experiential Learning Program. In the Bsc Hons Agriculture, there will be discipline-wise courses in 4 years. Now we see there will be different branches. The first is the agronomy and the genetics and plant breeding, soil science and agriculture chemistry, and the entomology and agriculture economics, agriculture engineering, plant pathology, horticulture, food science, and the agriculture extension, and the biochemistry, physiology, and the environmental sciences. Statistics, computer application and IPR, and animal production, and the English, remedial courses, and the physical education and yoga practices, human value and ethics, educational tour, discipline specific elective courses, open elective courses, RAWE and ELP. These are the different branches we have to study in this entire 4 years of course. Now we see the one of the branch in the agriculture, that is agronomy. In the agronomy there will be a many subjects which is covered in these 4 years. Now we see the first subject, fundamentals of agronomy. In this subject it is a mainly basic subject for every agriculture student. In this subject mainly we learn about the tillage, weeding, and the irrigation, and the intercropping, and many things we can learn in the subject. And the second is the introductory agrometeorology and climate change. In this subject we learn about the weather forecast phenomena and the atmosphere changes and many things. And the third is the crop production technology, kharif crops. In this subject mainly about the kharif crops only, like rice, maize, black gram, green gram, their cultivation practices. And the fourth subject, crop production technology to rabi crops. In this subject like all the rabi crops, wheat, lentil, chickpea, mustard, all the cultivation practices. And the fifth subject, farming systems and sustainable agriculture. It is mainly like integrated farming system and different farming systems, and how we have to protect the agriculture for the future generations. Like this we can learn. And the sixth subject, practical crop production on kharif crops. In this subject mainly this is a subject we have to perform a practical work in our college fields, like growing of kharif crops in the first subject, and in the second subject we have to grow a rabi crop. One crop we have to grow, and we have to give a, like we have to practice all from the tillage to harvest practices, and we have to show the yield to the college managements. And the next subject, principles of organic farming. In this subject mainly how we have to cultivate through organic farming, and how we have to increase the fertility of the soil. And the next subject, geoinformatics and nanotechnology and precision farming. Like this is a modern subject, mainly like using of the GPS tools and the GIS tools, and the many tools we can learn in this subject. And the next subject, rain-fed agriculture and watershed management. Mainly this subject in the villages, how we have to store the rainwater, and we have to perform cultivation practices, how the subject will teach. And the next subject, agriculture heritage. In this subject mainly how the traditional methods and the techniques are practiced, and now we have to perform a protection of the present day agriculture. And the next branch is genetics and plant breeding. In this mainly first subject is fundamentals of genetics. In this subject mainly the principles of genetics for the improving of yield and quality for crop improvement we can learn from this subject, and many things. And the next subject, principles of seed technology. From this subject how we have to perform a seed technology. And the next subject, fundamentals of plant breeding. In this like mainly the traditional and the advanced plant breedings and the seed production, how to increase the yield we can learn from this subject. And the next subject, crop improvement 1, kharif crops, and the next subject, crop improvement 2, rabi crops. In this mainly we can know about the centers of the origin and the PGR, plant genetic resource, and how we have to perform a seed production technology in all kharif crops and rabi crops. And the next branch, soil science and agriculture chemistry. In this subject mainly the first subject is fundamental of soil science. In this subject mainly we can learn the soil profile and the texture and the taxonomy and the pH of soil and many other things we can learn. And the next subject, manures, fertilizers and soil fertility management. In this subject mainly we can know about the primary nutrients and the secondary nutrients, macro and the micro, and many things we can learn. And the next subject, problematic soils and their management. We can see there will be like alkaline soils, sodic soils and the acidic soils. We can know about their management techniques also in this subject. And the next branch is entomology. In the entomology, the first subject is fundamentals of entomology. In this subject mainly it is like how the diversity of insects and the identification of the insects and the ecological relationship of the insect. We can learn many things in this subject. And the next subject is pest of crops and stored grains and their management. In this, how we have to store the grains after the harvest, how we have to manage in the godowns, and many things we can learn. And the next subject, management of beneficial insects, like there will be like honeybee and the silkworms, like how we have to manage the beneficial insects we can learn from this subject. And the next branch is agriculture economics. In this subject mainly the first subject is fundamental of agriculture economics. In this mainly we can know about the importance of economics in agriculture and the market forms and money and the demand and the supply we can learn. And the next subject is agriculture finance and cooperation. And this subject we can learn role of financial institutions and how these help to the perform the agriculture operations. And the next subject, agriculture marketing, trade and prices. And this after the means like the farmers are harvesting their crop, how there will be market and the how we have to sell our product and how we have to profitable. From this subject we can learn. And the next subject, farm management, production and resources of economics. This is mainly like how to perform our agriculture operations. We can learn from this subject. And the next branch is agriculture engineering. From the first subject is soil and water conservation engineering. In this subject we can learn about the type of soil erosion and the control measures and the soil loss by the USLE. And the next subject is farm machinery and power. And from this subject we can learn about the different farming operations and the machineries used in the agriculture and the powers and the tools we have to learn. And the next subject is renewable energy and green technology. From this we can learn about the different energies, nuclear energy, solar energy and the many things. And the next subject is protected cultivation and secondary agriculture. From this subject we can learn about the how we have to like build a greenhouses and the poly houses and many things learn from this subject. And the next branch is plant pathology. The first subject is fundamentals of plant pathology and agriculture microbiology. From this subject we can learn about the plant health and disease caused by the parasitic and the non-parasitic pathogens and many things. And the next subject is disease of field and horticulture crops and their management. From this subject mainly like from the kharif crops, how these diseases are affected and how we have to manage the practices like by using the chemicals and the remaining physical and cultural practices, how we have to control. We can learn many things. And the next subject, disease of field and horticulture crops and their management too. Like this is in the rabi crops we can how we have to perform these operations like for the control of the disease we can learn. And the next subject is principles of integrated pest and disease management. And from this subject we can learn about the through physical, chemical and the biological control measures, how we have to control the pest and diseases. And the next branch is horticulture. And the first subject is fundamentals of horticulture. From this subject we can understand the concept of the horticulture crops and the vegetables and the gardens and the orchards and many things. And the next subject, production technology for fruit and plantation crops. From this subject we can learn about the many fruit crops like mango, guava and many other fruit crops and the plantation crops like tea, coffee and the rubber cultivation. Many things we can learn from this subject. And the next subject is production technology for vegetable and spices. From this like many vegetable crops like onion, garlic, cabbage, cauliflower, radish and the different spice crops also we can learn from this subject. And the next subject is production technology for ornamental crops, maps and landscaping. From this subject we can learn about the different ornamental crops like rose, gerbera, medicinal and aromatic plants. Many things we can learn. And the next subject, post harvest management and value addition of fruits and vegetables. From this subject we can learn about the how and at which time we have to harvest the fruits and how we have to increase the value of the fruits, by applying processing of the fruits and vegetables, how we can store for a longer time. Many things we can learn from this subject. Next branch is food science and technology. The subject is principles of food science and nutrition. From this subject we can learn about how the carbohydrates, fats and the vitamins and the minerals, how it can help to develop our body, and many things we can learn from this subject. And the next branch is agriculture extension and communication. The subjects are fundamentals of agriculture extension and education. From this subject we can learn about the principles of extension program and the leadership skills and ICT methods and many things. And the next subject is rural sociology and educational physiology. And from this subject we can learn about the scope of rural societies and the personality learning process and the motivation and many things. And the next subject, entrepreneurship development and business communication. From this subject, how we have to start up a new business, by developing a new skills, learning many agriculture startups and many things. And the next branch is biochemistry, physiology and environmental sciences. From the first subject, fundamentals of plant biochemistry and biotechnology. From this subject we can learn about the application of the modern approaches of biotechnology in micropropagation and many things. And the next subject, fundamentals of crop physiology. From this subject we can learn about the crop health, productivity through applying various parameters and many things. And the next subject, environmental studies and disaster management. From this subject we can learn about how to protect our environment and how we have to manage our ecosystems and many things. And the last subject, introduction to forestry, how we have to implement a new social forest and agroforestry systems and different agroclimatic conditions, like many things we can learn from this subject. And the next one is statistics, computer application and IPR. The first subject is statistics methods, like we can learn mean, mode and the median, many things. And the next subject is agri informatics, how we are using the IT application in the present day agriculture and many things we can learn. And the next subject is intellectual property rights. From this subject we can learn about the how the copyrights and the different organizations and many things. And the next subject, computer fundamentals, internet and MS Office. From this subject we can learn about the MS Office, internet and operating systems and many things. And the next branch is animal production. The subject is livestock and poultry management. From this subject we can learn about the different breeds, like exotic breeds and the Indian breeds, and the feeding habits of the different, like cow, goat, sheep, buffalo and many topics we can learn. And the next is the English language. In the English language mainly we can learn about the importance and the communication skills and the grammar and the tenses, like how we have to prepare a public speaking, like letters, many things we can learn from the English. And the next is the remedial courses. We have to select the one course in the first year, first semester only. There will be two subjects, introductory biology and elementary mathematics. From this we can select only one. Like if you studied in inter biology means we can select the mathematics group subject for the Bsc Hons Agriculture. In the introductory biology there will be like a different level of biological organisms and important families and the angiosperms and many things. In the elementary mathematics there will be like a mathematical equations applied in the agriculture. We have to select only one course from these two. And the next is NSSR, NCCR, physical education and yoga practices. Mainly the physical education and yoga practices are conducted in the 2 semesters. Mainly we can learn the many games like badminton, volleyball and the kabaddi and the kho. Many games we can learn. And the next subject is human value and ethics. From this subject we can learn about the ethics of a human, how you be in the society, how many things we can learn from this subject. And the next is the educational tour. Educational tour is the compulsory in Bsc Hons Agriculture. Mainly the university only conduct a tour, the students are going to agriculture research stations for the agriculture tour. Mainly it is 1 to 2 weeks around they are spending the time in agriculture tour. Next is the specific elective courses. Mainly these elective courses we have to select in the a 4th sem, 5th sem and the 6th sem. We have to select only one subject among these all the subjects. From these 4 subjects, agri business management and agrochemicals and the commercial plant breeding and the landscaping, we have to select only one subject only. And the food safety and standards and the biopesticides and the biofertilizers, protected cultivation and the micro propagation and the technologies, from these four we have to select only one subject. And the weed management and the agriculture generalism, from these two we have to select only the one subject. Means like we have to select only the like three subjects from among the all the subjects. And the next is the rural agriculture work experience and agro industrial attachment, RAWE and AIA. It is mainly like in the semester 7, it is mainly conducting. We have to compulsorily attend this RAWE. And from the RAWE, there will be like many programs. We can learn many these things only, like a general orientation, on campus training by different faculties. They like faculties are giving like how the RAWE and how we have to perform this RAWE in the villages, they can teach. And the next is the village attachment. In the village attachment we have to like select a farmers and teach how to grow the crops, and we also learn from the many things from the farmers. And the next is the unit attachment in university or colleges or KVK research stations attachment. Like we can go to the KVKs and learning the things about the how the research station is working and how the farmers are using this KVKs, and many things we can learn. And the next is the plant clinic. From this plant clinic, like if there is like any disease in the field, like how we have to control this disease, many things we can learn. And the next is the agro industrial attachment. From this industrial attachment, like we have to select like one or two in one industry, and we can go there and learning the like how if we see like a one biscuit factory, means how the biscuit is manufacturing, and many things we can learn from this agro industrial attachment. And the next last are the project report preparation and the presentation and evaluation. And finally, like learning these things, we can giving a report preparation and the presentation to the all the students, like the faculty members, and they are evaluating the marks based on these things. And mainly the agro industrial attachment, the like the students are attached to the agri industries like a period of 3 weeks for the experiment learning and many works. And in the last semester, 8th semester, we can learn about the ELP, experiential learning program. Like the in this ELP there will be like many subjects: production technology for bioagents and the biofertilizers, and the seed production technology, and the mushroom cultivation, and the commercial beekeeping, and the poultry production, and the commercial horticulture, food processing, organic production technology and commercial. Like from these all the subjects, like we have to select only the two subjects at a time. And we have to like these like mainly 6 months program, we have to perform the different operations, and we have finally submit the report to the faculties. And the last is massive open online courses. We have to select the two courses, and these we have to complete in the Bsc Hons Agriculture. Thank you for watching the video. Please do subscribe.